Hello, my fellow weirdos. I made a video about 2 hours ago, but it was just, I was all over the place, so I didn't even upload it. It was about 1:30. About 2 hours ago, yeah, because it was before noon, but I was watching. Actually, I was watching a Popak video, Michael Popak, about the SNAP and the food stamps. And I was waiting for my case manager to come because it's Friday. And while I was working the elections, I kept getting called by my bank, which I know what that means. Somebody, wrote fraudulent, purchases, which means a card being deactivated, and the little bit I had that they didn't take, because I was like, I should have twice that amount, and there was like $150, 3 charges, but I couldn't do a damn thing. I couldn't find any of that out while I was working on the election Tuesday, and I couldn't call the bank on Wednesday and most of Thursday because my voice was like this. It was really fucked up. And like I said, on Wednesday or Thursday, I would after it was fine, but after talking for about 5 or 10 minutes, a phone call or something, call my reps or something, I'm like already going like this again. So it's been pretty strong today, Friday, but I've been keeping an eye on the SNAP because they say we were told that it didn't come in. It was coming in. He's finally about 11:30. I had just checked maybe half hour before, 0. And I was like, because you can go to Amazon. If you use your SNAP on food things through Amazon, you'll have your card in there and they have the number that you can just check your balance instead of going to the EBT thing and everything. Much easier. And I couldn't believe it. My full amount was there. I'm like, looking at the screen, the desktop, and I'm like, my case manager was on the way. He was going to be there in like 30 minutes. He was on his way, and from another client, because we were going to go make the claim about the bank thing, and at least because there's one bank here that they can actually print a card up because they have the thing for the chip to put a chip on it. And I was like, oh my God, at least just get me to the bank so I can, put the claim in, because there was like 3 different charges, came to like nearly 150. And so I can get another card, so whatever's left in there, I can use a little, like at least to get some milk and a couple pieces of fruit or banana, something, like that. Maybe some, something for a salad, something. And he said, yeah, we can stop just at the corner store just so I can get some milk or a little whatever, just to get some milk and just a couple things just to get, I figured when the SNAP came in, a lot of their clients are going to need rides. A lot of us don't have cars. Some of us, they don't have a car, but they're nearby a store where they can get like right next across the street from their apartment or something. But I also knew some people might be more in need than me. It's not like I don't have any canned food, and I had some frozen stuff still, like chicken legs or something like that. And I couldn't believe it. So I immediately took a screenshot of my amount so he knows it was the full amount, not partial. And apparently I'm the first one. I was the one that told. And the new nurse, finally, after 3 years of not having a nurse on an MHA, just because of shit going on. She had texted me back about something we were talking about before, and I told her, oh, by the way, let them know on the higher ups to let everybody know the SNAP has come in, or at least mine did. It was full, so start checking your shit to see if it's in, if it's partial, or if it's full. It should be full. And when he got to my caseworker and the trainee, he said, yeah, he goes, I was like, I might have been the first in Jersey to know, because I had just checked it less than an hour before. I was like, yeah, it's been an hour. What's the change, you know? And it was there. I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it. And on the way home, he says, yeah, while you were shopping. And it was dead when I got to the store. And as I got there, I first went to the customer service and I let them know to please let their shoppers know. Because some of us, if they couldn't, if they couldn't get there to the store today and they have no ride on the weekends, you could always, it's like, I think $17 or $15 or something like that. I don't know. To pay for them to do the shopping and deliver it to you. That includes the bags they use, just the service, which is like, ugh. But in a situation like this, you can deal with that cash because you're not going to have to use that for the food like you thought you would. It's not something you can do every week or all the time, that's a bit of money. But if you're desperate in a situation like that, you have the food stamps, they could at least do that. And that's why I told him you might have people calling in to do like shopper orders where it's delivered. Just letting you know, I said, because SNAP benefits came in and I believe it looks like it's the full amount. So y'all are going to have people swarming in here because it's Friday. And some of us can't get here on the weekends because the people that drive us are not available on the weekends. And they appreciated it. On the way home, he said, well, I was in there for about an hour. Not even. But, I didn't get all my shopping done. He goes, I just got the sales, things that can get me through. Milk, yogurt. They had a prepared rack of ribs. Pork ribs, which is what I prefer. But, barbecued, cooked and everything, smoked. And normally they're like $14 or something. And they were like $12.99, and then they came out to $9.99, and that's like 4 meals, a few ribs each, 3-4 ribs. There's the food there. So yeah, I just did some of those things because I didn't have time to go through the ads and I didn't want to just spend money, so it was just a part of it. But he says next week we'll have some other people that are just going to be taking people shopping, or they're working on that apparently, for next week, so we can get everybody shopped up. So, not a bad idea. I told him, take a van or two if some of us don't mind shopping together, and just know whose bags are whose. I don't mind if I share, a shopping van and give us an hour or something, an hour and a half, whatever, and, that to try to consolidate so we can get everybody shopped fast without you all putting in a shitload of overtime. So, SNAP is in. I actually feel good. He said, he goes, yep, he goes, when I got in, we got everything packed in the car and we were on the way home. He goes, actually, he goes, we took that time and I let everybody know, the other caseworkers and supervisors and stuff, that SNAP is in to have the clients check. And he says, yeah, he says they've all come in back and said all the clients that they've contacted, that they've reached, have checked and their full SNAP benefits are in. So they put out she says, go ahead, put out a blast, let everybody know. And he says, actually, I let them know that it was you who gave the warning, who gave the heads up. You were the first to know, and you notified me, and that's how I'm able to let you guys know early on Friday. They're in. Check. So it's like, it's not necessarily that, I got credit. It was like all this vigilance and keeping an eye on it, not just for myself, for everybody. It was like, it's more of a it's definitely I'm so happy that all that, hovering and watching and all this stuff I've been ingesting the last several days, trying to keep on top of it. They said this, but this person said this, and they're both reliable. What the hell, Just before this, I was watching something from just 2 hours ago that said appeal went in because they're starting on the partial, but they're, appeal is for the full, and he doesn't want to pay full. And I'm like, yeah, so you don't know. So every hour, every couple hours, I'm checking it. And I had checked it an hour ago before this. And I was like, in the middle of Michael Popak talking, I'm like, okay, I got another window up. I'm like, I'm going to go to Amazon and check. And the video was still playing. And I'm like, he's talking about the appeal. And I'm like, they're in. They're in. They're in. They're in. They're in. And the first thing I did, because he was already had texted me, he's on his way. And it took him about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that, from where he was, where that client was, to me. So he's let me know he's on the way, just thinking about the card, getting the new bank card because of the fraud shit while I was working on election. Y'all, I am so glad. I didn't even, the fact that he said it was, just the fact that I was able to get the word out immediately so people could get shopping if they could on today before the weekend. I'm just glad that I got the accurate information. I was able to extrapolate the accurate information, and I kept literally hovering on it. And it paid off, not just so I knew immediately, but I was able to be like the canary in the coal mine. And I'm like, snap is in. Tell people that that have been waiting for it. It's in, guys. And that's basically what I did when I walked into the supermarket, because they'd only started processing them. They only started showing up on our cards like an hour before that. So a lot of people might not have known yet. And yeah, I did. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so relieved. I was able to, because I wanted to get the information as fast as possible so I could get it to everybody, so everybody could stop stressing and start shopping sooner. Because, yeah, I haven't had milk for like 4 days. And I'm sure other people have had things that were a lot more. Oh my God, a salad. Oh my God, I cannot wait to eat that salad. I haven't had fresh produce for a bit, and I'm just like, oh God, that salad looks so good. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm ditching. It's got spinach. I've got beets. I've got blue cheese. Beets and blue cheese. Oh, if you like those. So good. Oh my God. And just like a scoop of tuna fish. Make tuna salad. With the beets and the blue cheese on the it's a combination of like leafy greens and spinach leaves. Ooh. Good. I know. I'm like, my mouth is starting to water thinking about eating a salad. It's been a rough month, guys. And boys and girls, back in 2025, when there was the great food assistance debate, and when the food assistance came in and the people were able to shop, they were all craving salad with vegetables, fresh vegetables, maybe a little cut up apple in that salad with some blue. Oh my God, they could not wait. The first thing they wanted to get to was that plump, juicy salad. I said not many. But I seriously, I know. Yo. Oh, there's red. I put red onions. Oh, and mushrooms. Um. Yes, I know. Truly for a salad. Either times are hard and we've been kind of rationing the foods the last week or so, or it's pathetically the highlight of my day. Oh my God. Anyway, y'all, Jersey SNAP is in. And my case manager and I were talking about that. And I said, I know blue states will be processing the shit as fast as they can. Red states, I'm not really, they might still just be pricks, and I was like, and he goes, no, I don't think they're going to do, not with this one. He says, because their people are already bad, and they're not good. I said, yeah, because that's what I was wondering, because right now, their people are struggling more. Their people didn't even have enough to make backup stored stuff. And people have elections coming up in a year, and we're not going to forget that. He says, I don't think this is something the red states are, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to get him as soon as possible. Just because of how much they tried to fucking convince all of you guys that it was the Democrat fault. And all of us, creators, activists, on the streets, on the videos, on the graphics, with your neighbors, on your windows, signs, stickers, reminding people, on the overpasses, pop-up protests, on the corners, just somebody marching through your neighborhood with signs, with written on the Constitution, quietly. All of us, we've been out there. Ingenious little things different groups have, and different towns have, devised to get the word out. Just in general, there was no way the Republicans trying to spin it that it wasn't their fault. It didn't take hold. And that's because of what I just said. Everybody involved in getting the word out, they are liars. Lying. Do you remember, who was it? It was there was somebody, she was a gal, a big old mouth gal with a bullhorn. Gee. Who does that remind us of? Big mouth. Okay. Activism in this period of time right now, a big loud mouth and a stubborn nature. It's exactly what we need. I have stepped into my mission with activism. And it was all of us and all of you guys who know the truth, telling people when it came up, that we thwarted the Republicans. We thwarted their messaging for a fucking change. We stopped and reversed their messaging. For a change, Democrat messaging was far more effective than the Republican messaging, and I am thrilled. We are stepping into our voices for a change, and our authentic Democratic voices. A brain. I have a big brain. And just knowing that I was the one that was hovering and hovering and hovering, and I told him, as soon as I know, I'll tell you, you tell me if you know first. Just knowing that I was able, with the limitations I have and being able to get to events and people not having time to be able to get to the event themselves and get me there, that even without all that, I managed to actually make a big difference for some people by staying on top of it and you know, calling the second I knew that it was in. Yeah, I announced it. Fuck it. If anybody knows anybody who is waiting for their stamps, they're in. Stamps, benefits, SNAP is in. And there was a couple people that said, that's why I'm here. And one couple people behind me was like, they are. I was like, yeah, they are. And then they were like, oh, we should call such and so, probably try to get somebody shopping or something. But that made me feel good that I was able to get them the news. I mean, like, as soon as it broke. It's not easy to catch any news like that. That is how long I've been sitting there with my ass attached to the seat, just perusing anybody who mentions SNAP. What's happening? Anybody reliable. I even listened to some I'd never heard before. Just, do they have a different spin that maybe I should check? But it is in, and it should be your full. If any other states, if you're not in New Jersey and you get SNAP, or you know somebody who gets SNAP, would you please let me know what state and if it was like partial or full? Because it should be everybody, all the states getting full. So, if you would please tell me what state and if they've gotten them full or if they've gotten partial. And please let anybody you know. Now, I say peace out and have a great weekend. I know a lot of us are going to have a much better weekend than they were planning on. So, for that, I am very, very happy that a little less suffering will be happening for my fellow Americans this weekend. Even if you can't get to a store, they do deliver. It does cost a little, but we were going to spend some money for our food through our cash anyway. So you don't have to do that now if you need to. And I was prepared to do that. I didn't think they'd be able to swing me by the store and give me at least an hour. It started getting really busy. So that with an hour without a shopping list, without the sale items, is really takes a lot longer. Oh my God, you guys. Please let people know they can use the cards. Check them first. I love you guys. Peace out. Have a fabulous weekend. A weekend with just a little less weight on the shoulders, right? Yeah, I hear you guys. Love.